having come from the UK, historic buildings, conservation, I mean, that's an integral part of planning, and so it was always a part of the planning work I had done with Berkshire County Council. In looking at small towns or villages or whatever sort of planning work we were doing, a conservation study and developing conservation areas and putting those into effect was always part of the work. So it seemed natural to me that heritage should be part of planning here in Sydney. So I'm trying to think how it came about that North Sydney study took place. I suspect it was a combination of the Heritage Act that was fairly new at the time, that money was coming through to be able to do some work. There was an acknowledgement that working on a local government area basis was a good way of building up a database of heritage items in the state. I imagine that probably coincided with North Sydney Council actually being interested to do it as well and being prepared to come up with half the money. The heritage people in the department, because the heritage, at that time it was a heritage branch within the department, were interested in the local government authority approach, and I was interested in, as a manager or deputy manager of Sydney North, in managing the particular study. So together with somebody who worked with me, Susie Hopley, who was also interested in heritage, we, with North Sydney Council, managed Latona Masterman in the preparation of the study. And part of it was doing a thematic history, also of course a complete listing of the buildings that were of individual merit, or I think also there were some that were contributory streetscapes of slightly lesser. It was always intended that the outcome of that, which was produced as just in a limited number of reports, was going to be published, but somehow or other the money never came through, or somebody ran out of steam within the heritage branch. The intention of publishing it was actually to encourage other councils to do the same sort of thing, to build up a heritage inventory. And I think that was a very successful, it was the first municipal-wide heritage study, and I think laid the groundwork for preserving, conserving a whole lot of heritage buildings across North Sydney. And of course since then other local government areas have done their
probably almost all
have done their municipal-wide heritage studies. Going back a step before that, an early plan that I was involved in was a Mossman, a plan for the whole of Mossman, which I think started life as a draft planning scheme, but actually ended up as Mossman Local Environmental Plan No. 1 or something like that.